How's everyone doing? Welcome back to the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This is your host, Caleb Thompson. And this is a place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and your visions. We're coming live from New York City, as we always do. Hope everyone is having a great day out there today. Hope everyone's being safe. Hope everyone's staying chill, man. It's hot outside, man. So, you guys make sure that you guys take care of yourselves and get water. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have this episode is called identity shifts that every entrepreneur faces. I know a lot of individuals that went into entrepreneurship. If you just went in without a plan, but you had a dream and a passion, I know that you quickly found out that it doesn't work like that. You have to be strategic. You have to have some type of strategy that when you move from entrepreneurship, from being an employee to entrepreneurship, and that's actually going to be our first talk point. That's what we're going to go over. But everyone that went into entrepreneurship had to have a plan. I don't care if you had to figure out exactly what products and services you want to sell, if you had to, just turn or modify your gift, the gift that you have. Just say you have a gift of making cakes or anything, making bracelets, anything like that. You have to find a way to not only just have that gift and have a passion to make those things, because you really need something like a gift or a passion and turn it into a business, because you would do it even if you done it for free. So that's okay. But what a lot of entrepreneurs didn't know, that even though that little side hustle they want to turn into a business, you as being an entrepreneur, there are many other phases and many other things that you will have to take into consideration. We're not talking about staff right now at the moment. We're talking about the knowledge that you will have to gain in order to be successful. For you to scale from $500 Shopify store and you're getting a couple orders to 5,000, say 10,000, there is going to be need to be an identity shift in knowledge, because the knowledge you have can only take you so far. So if I only knew how to work on Toyotas, it's only going to take me so far, take my car shop so far. So, but if I know how to work on Ferraris and Bentleys and things like that, it gives me more of a luxury clientele in order for me to make more money. So, how do I do that? By gaining knowledge how to work on those cars. If I was a mechanic, this is the same concept. You can start off by making bracelets, but you're going to still need to integrate some type of seasonal promotions. You're going to need to learn how to do marketing when you're an entrepreneur. You're going to have to learn how to finance, be your own bookkeeper, I guess, for the start of your company. So there are a lot of identity shifts that, and identity shift just basically mean gaining knowledge in order to transition to a high or a better entrepreneur. That's all it is. When your identity changes, no one knows that they want to be a millionaire unless they knew it was $1 million out there in the world and that it was possible. So it's the same exact way. So talk point number one, we'll start with the first talk point here, is stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a business owner. Now we just discussed this and gave you guys a couple of nuggets on the identity shift from a employee mindset to a business owner mindset. You really have to take into consideration that you will have to wear every hat in the company when you first start the business, because a lot of times you will not be able to manifest your dream or create a company if you tell it to the wrong people. So you tell it to the wrong people, they're going to fight against that manifesting. They're going to try to stop you from, customizing shoes. You know what I mean? Say you have a knack for customizing shoes, Air Force Ones, John Morant. You spray paint, dip, color those shoes. So you may have a knack for that, and that may be something that you're very passionate about customizing clothes, fashion, shoes. But if you tell it to the wrong person, then it can destroy the dream. People can go behind the scenes and make sure that it doesn't work, rather in the natural way or rather in the spiritual way. So you have to keep your dream to yourself until you can run and put the work in, until you can find someone that can be able to invest, pour into you, or help lead you in the right direction, get better materials, maybe do some bulk ordering, but give you some type of resource in order to take that dream and help it to manifest, but also help to scale that company to the point where you don't have to work for anyone else. So, but it's a process and it takes time. So, like I said, number one, stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a business owner. So, one thing I've learned. that this is the biggest identity shift in entrepreneurship, is from moving from just completing tasks to creating opportunities. When you are a business owner, you create opportunities for other people to be able to make money. You create opportunities for other people to be a part of a vision or a plan that can ultimately provide for them and their family. So you have to get from just hustle and bustle, making $5, $10 here, $30 here. You have to get to a point to and take on the identity is I'm stepping into a role where I will be able to create opportunities for other individuals. So even when you first start, you will not be able to do that. Well, some people may be able to leverage their own credit instead of, you won't have any business credit because the business probably won't be 2 years. Oh, but you can leverage your own credit. So I do advise everyone to start working on their credit, because that is an option for business funding. If you leverage your own credit, if you have good credit, you can get a $250,000 loan just based off of 700 credit score, and depending on the products or services that you are selling. So you can get money that way. By So work on your credit, and just in case when you start a business, your business doesn't have any business credit, you don't have any trade lines. A lot of trade lines that I like to use is Net 30. I use those Net 30 accounts, and I use CEO Creative. And there's a lot of other trade lines that you can use with your company to help build your business credit. Also, get on Dun and Bradstreet. Dun and Bradstreet will help you to it will help simplify your business, and put your business information out there. It has tax tracking. So Dun and Bradstreet, get you a Dun and Bradstreet number, get you an EIN number, get the LLC, and you can use those things. You can use the EIN number to get a vehicle in your company's name. So work on your credit first. If you're just now starting a business, or just start to work as a side hustle, but ultimately your mindset needs to be, right now, if you want to start a business, you need to be thinking 5, 10 years ahead, 10, 20 years ahead. You need to think, if I start this business, what is the ultimate vision for this company? And you have to be that person now, even though it doesn't look like that. You cannot worry about the money's not coming, let me stop, things are not working out. It does not work like that. You have to be a multi-billionaire even when you have $5 in your pocket. You have to already adopt the mindset of what would a multi-billionaire do, how would he act, how would he move. You need to be that person at the level you're at right now. People won't understand you. They'll think, oh well, he hasn't even made $250,000 with his business. Why is he walking like that? Why is he confident? Because life will catch up with your identity. The world or the universe reacts to how who a person is, not to what a person has. So who you are, that energy that you embody of that person as you see yourself in the future, that is what you will attract. So you have to get out of the employee mindset and start thinking like a business owner. But as an owner, I just don't like to focus on today's work. I'm thinking long term. Like we said, you have to already be 10 years in ahead. If it's quarter 4, let's just say 2026 is Q4, you need to be thinking 2027 Q4. Within the next 12 months, what are we looking to accomplish? How will we create a roadmap and to make sure that we can execute this goal in order to, is it get more sales, generating more revenue? Is it coming up with a better marketing strategy? Is it coming up with a better pricing strategy? Maybe your pricing strategy is off. You have good products, but maybe the economy in that particular neighborhood does not align with what you're trying to sell. You cannot sell a Ferrari in an impoverished neighborhood. So you have to find places, location, as they say, to make sure it aligns with the environment, and that way it can draw more attention. All right, so entrepreneurship requires ownership, not only a business, but also the mindset of a business owner. So you have to make sure you stay in the mindset, as we talked about. You have to be that person that we were talking about. Already be that person that you see yourself as. Talk point number 2. I evolve. You have to get from the point of doing everything to leading others. Man, I tell people this all the time. You're only so smart. I remember telling someone else, being handsome can only take you so far in life. Being pretty can only take you so far in life. Being smart can only take you so far in life. There's all the attributes that a person has. I don't care if it's good quality, good character. It only can take you so far in life. You will eventually need other people to grow, scale your business. So what I'm basically telling you is this: that when you are in a place of leadership, when you have to go from doing every single thing. I started up doing a marketing calendar, and I basically started these companies, and I had to do everything. You will have to do everything. You will have to manage the finances. You will have to do payroll. You will have to be the hiring manager. You will have to be the chief marketing officer. You will have to be every hat until you can get to a point where you yourself, either through a loan investor, get enough capital in order to grow your business from the stage A to stage B to stage C stages in the company. So you have to get to the point where you have to learn your vision so good and be so, let's say, being able to articulate and convey that vision to other individuals to get them on board. If you're saying, man, we're gonna, you can't tell people, man, I want to start this car wash. Okay, everybody's like, okay, that's cool, but you have to be able to convey that convey that vision or that message in a way that it is convincing to others to want to be a part of what you have going on. Yeah, some people will work for you, but if they're not passionate, they're gonna like to say half-ass it. They're not gonna do it in a way that they feel passionate. You want to make people feel like they're a part of the vision, but be happy to come to work. Be happy to be a part of a plan, a great plan at that. So, but one thing I realized is that I can't grow a business if I insist on doing everything myself. You can as well. So, as your business grows, your role shifts, man. Everyone that owns a company, even though just say you haven't started a company yet, but eventually, once you start a company, your job is to replace yourself. You do not, if you have anyone that has a company and they have not left the company or left their original role from when they started the company, I bet that company has not seen $50 million. I bet that company's probably not seen $1 million because you have to be able to. Well, maybe they have, but that's probably the only company they have, unless they have some type of side hustle like day trading, or maybe they got dividends from the company and went into real estate or tax lien or tax deed investing. So you can diversify your portfolio by being a part of the company, but your original position, if you really want to expand, you really want to scale, you really want to be able to take time to really develop the vision, like for the next 10 years. You can have a business plan. The business plan can give you a outlook on where you want your company to grow, and it's not going to be the same as you start to work towards that vision. It is going to change, whether you believe it or not. It's just going to change, so I can set a business plan, a short-term goal within the next 12 months. I want to make $5.6 million with the real estate company, but it doesn't always work like that. Anything can happen. The economy could crash. You could have a bad business partnership. You could, whatever it is. You work with a venture capitalist firm, maybe the general partner, the limited partner, some goes wrong there. So anything can happen. So you have to be prepared. And also, I want to tell everybody, once you do go into entrepreneurship, make sure that you have some type of fail safe. When I say fail safe, I don't mean a plan B. You have to be all in. But what I mean is you have to have emergency fund just in case anything happens. So you have to have emergency fund personally, and you have to have emergency fund set aside for your company as well. And that way, if you cannot access capital, you will still have some backup cash to go ahead and fix that oven, or you know what I mean, fix the storefront. Maybe a window gets broken out, or a glass, or someone breaks into the store. Maybe you're waiting on insurance to send you the money. Maybe you have commercial insurance, but you need to be back up and running by tomorrow. You need to emergency fund to call someone to fix that today so you can be back open tomorrow. You don't want to have to wait for insurance money. You don't want to have to wait borrowing money or things like that. So you want, or take it out of the business as well. So you want to make sure that you have an emergency fund. So as your business grows, like I say, your role will shift. Your job is to work. Your job is to replace yourself. Your job as a business owner, this is, you do not trade in. I tell people this all the time. You do not trade in a 40-hour work week for an 80-hour work week, because you will work 80 to 120 hours when trying to create a company and trying to start a business from scratch. You will work more. If people think that I'm going to be financially free, I'm going to leave my job and start my own business. You will work more as an entrepreneur, building your own company, building your own brand, than just going to work and coming home from work. But it will eventually create financial liberation for you if you continue to stick with it. But the thing is this: you have to your role shifts. You have to get it to the point where you have to understand that you do not need to be the bottleneck. You do not need to micromanage everything that happens in the company. You need to be learn how the art of delegation, learn how to delegate those tasks to other individuals that you can trust. And I hire quick and I fire quick. You know what I mean? I hire someone quick, more than one person for a position, but I will fire people quick as well. You know, I will give chances, but if you're just not a good fit, you're just not a good fit. Everything looks good on your resume. We had that interview, good talk. You know, it seems like you're the right person. You have the credentials, but as long as now I see that your character, now I see that you're short tempered. Now that you look good on paper, I got to get you out of here, because what you would do is you are in a place of leadership or management, and you have the credentials, you have everything that looks good on paper, but you will start to, if you're not emotionally intelligent, what you will start to fight people in the business, rather mentally, strategically, to keep them. If you are not emotional intelligent or secure in your position and who you are as a person, and you hold a high position, you will start to sabotage the company by sabotaging the employees that will help build the company, because you are intimidated. And we got to get you out of there, because you are not here to be a gatekeeper. You're here to build the vision of the person that employed you. You are not here to dictate who's doing a good job, trying to limit people, trying to take all the credit, trying to look good. If you want to do that, start your own company. But if you work for me, we help people reach their fullest potential, even if they bypass you. You know what I mean? So we don't limit people. If you find anyone gatekeeping, you got to go. Now you do have to protect certain information and certain things in the company. But as far as someone holding a position and you are over that individual, and it is your job to make sure that you give them the tools necessary to execute their task, and you don't, and you withhold information in order to sabotage not only the employees, but the employees that are creating my vision for my company. You got to go. You got to get out of here. You know what I mean? I like you, you're a good person, but you know what I mean, I can't have that. You know, we can miss out on deals, we can miss out on value and creativity, we can miss out on just awesome employees, just because one person is insecure about their abilities to perform. We got to get you out of there. You got to go somewhere else. You got to start back from the bottom and learn how to trust yourself, learn how to lead people and be secure even when someone does a good job and you don't get the credit. You have to learn how to I would hire someone that has those qualities instead of sabotaging people to keep their position. You got to go. So leadership doesn't mean developing the systems that run the business, which you will have to have business operational systems to make it a little bit easier for you. So the business operational systems, what they do is they are a set of documents or a set of systems that help the business run like a machine. That means if you were there, if you were not there, you will still get the same result, or the same result that is to your quality or to your standards. So you will still get the same result. But the business grows when the leader grows, and that's what you need to understand. You cannot go from one level to the next level and you are not growing as a leader. So number three, embrace continuous growth, personal growth as your business expands. See, we didn't say growth in your business, continuous personal growth. You're gonna have to read books. You're gonna have to remind yourself, because I'm going to tell you something. There's something when you start to be successful or start to accomplish a lot of things. There's two things that happen. Either you become comfortable in that success, or what happens, either you become real comfortable and then people start passing you up. You feel like I've made it. You never feel like you've made it. And then there's sometimes that you will forget why you got started. You will become so comfortable, you will forget why you got started. And you need to read books. You need to remind yourself of why you got started. You need to remind yourself why you're in this position. You need to remind yourself why you started this, to help individuals and to give them a platform, give them an opportunity to share their gifts and their skills, not only with the company, but with the world as well. So one thing I've learned is that every new level of business demands a new level of me. You know, every time you go to the next level, there's a new version of you. You do not give the keys. You know what, you let a toddler have a big wheel. You let a 8-year-old have a bicycle. You know what I'm saying? Then you give a 16-year-old new car, but you do not take a brand new baby and put him in a NASCAR and tell him have at it. So there's different levels to different things that give you different levels that gives you keys and different access to certain opportunities or certain doors. You cannot take a toddler and tell him to drive to the store and get you a soda and bring back your change. He's going to hurt someone. He's going to hurt himself, and then that's you as being a leader is negligent and doesn't care. And that's the same way with putting people in positions that are not emotionally intelligent or not ready for that position. You have to wait to people develop a way to individuals can be trusted with that type of information or with that responsibility. You cannot just put someone in a position because you like them and they're cool. So but you yourself have to grow continually as your business starts to grow and expand. So one thing I've learned is that every new level of business demands a new level of me. Like I said, the habits, beliefs, and skills that helped me to start this business may not be enough to make it grow and continue to scale. So you will have to grow as your business grows. So I have to basically continue to improve my communication, my resilience, your financial thinking and planning, and also leadership. So it's different being a leader of 5 people, but when you are a leader of 20 people, 50 people, you have a company full of 200 employees. There's a different leadership style, and there's a different level of leadership you have to grow into when it gets that large. So the entrepreneur I become and you become is often the greatest asset to your business that you'll probably ever have. So man, thank you guys for tuning in. This is identity shifts that every entrepreneur faces. This is the House of Business Podcast 2.0, the place where we give you the knowledge and the tools to execute your dreams and your visions. We come live from New York City. We'll see you back here next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.